Level 1, floor worker. The numbers don't add up. You've known that for 3 weeks. Everyone else missed it. That's fine. $11.40 an hour. That's what they decided you're worth. Printed on a sheet, pinned behind the break room door like it's not supposed to sting. First room of the day is always the heaviest. Not because of the weight, because of the hour. You drag it toward the loading dock, boots on concrete, fluorescent tube above you flickering at the same spot it flickered yesterday. Nobody's fixed it. Nobody will. Marcus walks past, clipboard, coffee, eyes forward, doesn't acknowledge you. He never does. You've been here 7 months. He said maybe 12 words to you total. You've counted. Phone check, $214 in the account. Rent is $780, due in 9 days. You already know how that math ends. You've run it 4 times this week. Phone goes face down on the drum. There's a printed dispatch sheet taped to the wall. Been there so long the corners are curling. Crude inventory, vessel codes, supplier references, departure windows, dock assignments. You've read it maybe 40 times, not because the job requires it, because something's wrong with it. The barrels leaving this dock, the physical count, the drum IDs, the batch codes, don't match what's being logged into the system. Not slightly off, consistently off, in the same direction, every week. You almost said something to Marcus in month 2. Let's not pretend that would have gone anywhere useful, so you didn't. You just kept reading the sheet, kept counting, kept showing up at 6:43. Because here's what you understood before anyone bothered to explain it. The gap between what's real and what's recorded, that gap is always worth something to someone. You just hadn't figured out who yet. Level 2, logistics coordinator. Someone quits on a Thursday. Not fired, quits. Hands in the badge, cleans the desk, gone by lunch. Rare at this level. People don't quit jobs they need, which means she found something better. File that away. Marcus offers you the desk that afternoon. No interview, no raise, just a title and a keycard with slightly more access than your last one. Logistics coordinator. 2 words, meaningless to most people in this building. You take it without negotiating, not because you're grateful, because the desk has a computer with system access and you've been waiting 7 months for exactly that. First morning. You open the dispatch software. It's older than expected, the kind of system a company buys once and never replaces because replacing it would mean someone has to look at it properly and nobody wants to do that. Columns of data, supplier codes, vessel IDs, port references, departure timestamps, manifest numbers, batch weights. You start cross-referencing, manually, column by column. Here's what's actually happening. The loading dock numbers, the ones that never matched the wall sheet, they match here just differently, like someone went in after the fact and corrected them. Not erased, corrected. Subtle enough that you'd miss it if you weren't already looking. You weren't supposed to be looking, that's the point. You open a new tab, start mapping the pattern, dates, volumes, correction windows. There's a rhythm to it, quarterly, always the same 3-week window, always the same supplier codes. Your hand stops. You look at what you've built on the screen, close the tab, open your bag, take out the notebook, write it there instead. Not in the system, never in the system. Hand stops halfway through the second entry. You sit with that for a moment, then close the notebook, put it back in the bag, go get coffee. Come back. Open the dispatch queue like nothing happened. Start processing the morning's paperwork. You don't tell Marcus, you don't tell anyone. You just do the job, show up early, leave late, read everything twice. And you wait, because you've already figured out the first rule of being inside a system like this. The people who built the gap will eventually come looking for someone who noticed it. They always do. You just have to still be here when they arrive. David Chen finds you on a Tuesday afternoon. Regional buyer, independent trader. Always early, always alone. He stops at your desk like he already owns the conversation. Doesn't introduce himself. You noticed the variance in the Q3 logs. Not a question. You reach for your coffee, miss the handle. First time that's happened in months. He slides a card across the desk, stands, leaves. You look at the card. That night you Google the company, close the tab, open it, close it again. Tuesday, you call. Let's not pretend you weren't going to. Junior market analyst, $58,000. You almost laughed, didn't. First week, half of it doesn't make sense. Brent, WTI, contango, crack spread. People moving fast, talking faster. You write everything down, still the notebook. David doesn't explain anything, sends raw data, waits. By week 3, you stop asking what things mean, faster to just figure it out. There's a mispricing in the forward curve, 2 regional benchmarks, small gap, probably nothing. You flag it anyway. 4 days, nothing back. Day 5, David pulls a chair, sits backwards on it. How did you find that? Kept looking. 1 nod, he's gone. 3 days later, your system access changes. You don't ask what that means, you already know. Level 3, trader. First position, $50,000. Not your money, your call. Hands don't shake. Honestly didn't expect that. Closes in 4 hours, $3,200. David, again, $6,100. Again, $14,800. Month 2, you're running up to $400,000 a position. The floor notices. Ola, 6 years here, 2 desks over, stops talking to you around week 5. No fight, no reason given, just stops. You notice, file it, move on. Your sister calls, you let it ring. You'll call back. You won't. 4 people in the room. You know one of them. No introductions. Document on the table, physical, printed, no digital copy anywhere. Supply agreement, Rotterdam refinery. Vessel contract through an operator you've never heard of. 200,000 barrels. Thin margin, aggressive timeline. They want you to run it. Why me? One of the men checks his watch, stands up, leaves. David, because you don't ask the wrong questions. Here's what's actually happening. That wasn't a compliment. That was a test result. You look at the document. Sign it.
Level 4, Deal Structurer. 4 cities, 9 days. Rotterdam, Singapore, Houston, Geneva. The numbers shifted while you weren't watching. $4.2 million, $11 million, $31 million. Each deal is layered, holding entities, flags of convenience, a quiet bank in a quieter jurisdiction. You stopped asking why the structure's complicated. Let's not pretend you didn't already know. Singapore. Priya walks you through a mid-ocean cargo diversion. Vessel changes destination after departure. Legal. Technically. You read the relevant clause 3 times. Then you stop reading it. New notebook. This one's already half full. Your mom calls from Geneva. You pick up. First time in weeks. You sound different, she says. Just tired. Pause. Come home soon. I will. Deal closes at 11:47 p.m. $31 million. Room service. Eat half. Watch the rain. Level 5, Regional Director. Your name is etched in the glass now. Not a plaque. Etched. Small difference. Matters. 12 direct reports, 40 below them. You approve positions. You don't run them. That gap is larger than it sounds. A junior analyst, quiet, always early, 20-something, flags a variance in a Q3 log. You read it. Read it again. Call him in. How did you find this? He shrugs. Just kept looking. You study him for exactly 1 second longer than necessary. Increase his access, you tell your assistant. No explanation offered. Portfolio under your direction, $340 million. 3 active vessel contracts. 1 offshore entity under review by a regulator you've never heard of. That last part arrives on a Wednesday. Single page. No letterhead. You read it once. Flip it face down. Call a number you've memorized but never saved. Line picks up. Silence. We know. They hang up. Phone goes face down on the desk. Level 6. Global Operations. You stopped counting cities somewhere over the Atlantic. There's a scheduling team now. You've never met 2 of them. The portfolio isn't a number anymore. It's architecture. 11 jurisdictions, 4 vessel operators, 2 refineries, 1 running, 1 held. A Singapore desk running parallel positions with partial visibility to Geneva. That was deliberate. Your design. In Lagos, a government contact requests a meeting. Doesn't say why. Doesn't need to. Pipeline corridor access, in exchange for look-away on a routing irregularity. 18 months old. You fly in. Hotel restaurant. Order water. He talks for 12 minutes. You give him 6 words. Send the paperwork to Geneva, Thursday. He nods. You leave before the food arrives. In the car, 14 messages. 1 from your sister. Dad's birthday next week. Are you coming? You start typing. Delete it. Type again. I'll try. You won't. You already know that. Level 7. The inner structure. 6 people. No assistants. No phones on the table. No deck. You know 4 by name. 1 by reputation. 1, far end of the table, you've never seen before tonight. No agenda. No paper trail. Here's what's actually happening. A coordinated supply reduction. 3 non-OPEC corridors. Not OPEC. Adjacent to it. Cleaner. If it holds, price moves. Not slightly. You do the math before anyone finishes the sentence. The man at the far end speaks once. Quiet. Almost casual. $2.4 billion. Estimated position delta. 90 days. Nobody writes it down. Meeting ends in 40 minutes. No handshakes. People leave in intervals, 2 minutes apart. You take the stairs. Outside, rain. You stand under the awning. Not waiting, just standing. 12 seconds. Then you get in the car. Level 8. No title. You stopped carrying business cards 2 years ago. Let's not pretend they were ever necessary. The decisions made at this desk don't have names on them, not officially. A vessel reroutes. A refinery slows output for 11 days. A sovereign fund holds a currency position that moves exactly the way it needs to move. You didn't instruct any of that directly. Infrastructure moves when you move. That's the design. 3 people know the full picture. You're one of them. The other 2, you've never confirmed they know about each other. Never corrected it either. A message comes through a channel that doesn't use standard encryption. 4 words. Geneva is asking questions. You read it. Close the screen. Lean back. Geneva's been building for 7 months. You've watched it the way you used to watch dispatch logs, waiting for the number that doesn't match. You've already moved what needed moving 2 months ago. Desk drawer. Notebook. Old, worn at the corners. The one from the loading dock. You don't open it. Just hold it. Set it down. Knock at the outer door. Assistant steps in. Junior analyst outside. Says he flagged a variance in a shipping log. Was told to bring it to you directly. How old? 22, maybe 23. You look at the door. Send him in. He enters. Quiet. Early. Slightly too alert for the hour. Single sheet on the desk. You look at the numbers. Variance is real. Small, but real. How did you find this? Shrug. Just kept looking. You study him. The way he's standing. Not nervous. You've seen this before. Once. You slide the sheet back. Leave your number with my assistant. He nods. Turns to leave. Stops at the door. Should I be worried? You look at him. Notebook still on the desk. Not yet. He leaves. The door closes. You sit in the silence. Then you put the notebook back in the drawer. Geneva message still open on the screen. You close it. Not tonight. The system doesn't end. It finds someone new. You already know what happens next.